Welcome back, bud.
I only skipped a week, but it felt like longer.
I know, it felt like a lot longer
But I
than
think
that.
it's because we skipped a week
Oh, hold on.
between before that. Where are you going now?
I think this light over here is a little too bright. I'm getting washed out by that door. I'm going to fix the light. Hold on. Okay, that's better. Yeah, it felt like we were out for like 2 years.
Haven't done the podcast for 2 years yet.
Coming up on it though, right?
You have the sense of time like a child.
That's true.
My kid's like, last year, and he's talking about something he did yesterday. I'm like, yeah, buddy, I do.
Last year, that was a great reference there.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's been hot. It has been so hot today.
It was a scorcher today.
It was very hot. I tried to go outside last night, even like after the sun went down, and I just couldn't even do it. It's just so dadgum hot.
Yeah, I was out here working in the garage, and I was drenched.
Yeah, but you got AC out here, right?
It wasn't on. Doors were up, and I was like working, so.
Okay, I guess we'll allow that. But look at what I found.
That's a big old cigar.
This is the Asylum, Connecticut 250th anniversary cigar. I don't remember what they call it, but it's large.
It's the biggest cigar I've ever seen.
No, they make a bigger one. What is Shrek again? A org? They have an org one.
Ogre.
An ogre. No, it's not an ogre. Maybe it's an org, something like that. Maybe it is ogre. I don't remember. But it's like the size of a $50 in diameter.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah.
That's stupid.
So we'll see how this works out. It was not expensive, so even if it doesn't hold up.
Was it
very
more
well.
than the $2.65 cigars we had last time?
Yeah. I mean, I say it wasn't expensive. It was like $9.
That's
So,
respectable.
Yeah, especially for an Asylum. Asylum is usually a decent cigar. I've smoked them before on the pod, so we'll see how this one works out.
Speaking of the heat, I think we're going to keep our evening hour of daylight.
Oh, yeah. I saw that.
Past the House, it's in the Senate, so.
I don't know. The Senate always jacks crap up, so you never know.
They'll have to attach something to it to get their way. They're like, something this bipartisan coming through. What can we get out of it?
Yeah. More NGOs for both parties.
Yeah. Do you have thoughts on daylight saving times versus standard time?
So I've really thought about it quite a bit, actually, because it's going to have like an effect on my job personally, like because of school teaching. And friend of the show, Lee Wells, had a pretty good perspective on like how businesses will look at it, or how he thinks businesses will look at it.
I didn't see that. Positive or negative?
It was positive. Oh, well, it was positive in terms of like it will be pro-business.
Yeah.
Because the day we have moved to I'll just give a little synopsis of it. I shared it on our Facebook. He posted it. But it was like we have our country now and society now is a evening society to where we need the daylight more in the evenings. And that was kind of the basis of it. And he quoted some data, and he had some data that will back that up. And so it was an interesting take. The only thing that worries me is I believe it's like in the fall when it would be like 6 o'clock or 7:30 or something like that when it's still dark. And so kids at the school bus. So that kind of terrifies me a little bit, but I would much rather us have more light, more time. The light is the same.
Yeah.
More time in the evenings.
Yeah. You're just picking it, which hour you're shifting it to. I get it's not even so much the bus stop thing. It's, like our kids ride their bikes to school, so riding their bike to school in the morning in the dark, don't love that. But I do if you have to pick a side, I do come down on keeping daylight savings time because they do so much in the evenings. You talk about athletic practices, things like that, like you're talking about, and what that's going to mean for teams that don't have to get lights.
Yeah.
Don't have to turn the lights on the field because they have a whole another hour to practice. And I like that time because it does stink. Like if you work till 5 in the wintertime and by the time you get home, it's dark. So there's no playing outside time. Even if you don't have a sports practice or anything to go to. So I do like it. And I think the only negative that I can think of is just kids like riding their bikes and walking to schools in the morning. So
what I don't want to do is to start school later.
oh yeah.
So they're like, that gives them an excuse to go later.
Well, because then you just, you screw yourself on the back end for
Yeah.
athletic practices,
Well,
just messes the whole thing up.
And I just pick one is kind of where I'm at in this whole process. Just pick one. Let's stick with it. I know there's an argument to be made about how it's, we tried it in the 50s, 60s and 70s, whenever that was, a long time ago, before you and I were born. And it didn't work because we were still an agrarian culture. Well, most of us are not agrarian anymore. And I don't know about you, but we were driving down through Waco, and it was like 10:30, and those combines were still rolling with those giant LED lights on.
Yeah, they're not out there by hand picking anymore.
Well, and they have so much technology to where they can do that.
And you still have the same hours of daylight.
Yeah.
So it just means you're going to start an hour later.
Yeah, and I just pick one and stay with it, because it is difficult as I get older for my body to adjust.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's just a personal thing. I don't know if that'll. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was just last year that I had a hard time with it. But
it is tough. Like you talk about just working a regular 9 to 5, but like if you work till 6, you're walking out. You could be walking into work and could be walking out of work in the dark.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
I never like going to work in the dark and coming home in the dark. I don't like that at all.
Yeah.
I mean, and that happens especially when I was coaching. Like it would be if you're in season. It would happen all the time.
Yeah.
Because you're getting there for practice early, 5:45, 6 o'clock, 6:15. And then you may not even leave until 6:30 or 7:30.
I had this thought, though, because we think a lot about athletics and after-school activities as after-school activities, but my middle daughter's in band, and they practice in the morning.
Yeah.
And they practice out on the parking lot, which there's parking lot lights, but they're not super bright. And like they don't cover the whole area. They're kind of like pole lights, right? Mm-hmm. So I wonder what that might change for morning practices, like your cross country and band and things like that. Of course, you don't switch until it's still is it November?
I don't remember exactly when the switch happens.
It's the first Sunday in November, I think. So maybe that's okay, because marching competition is middle to end of October. So
I do remember your daughter's school, because we used to live by it. I could hear it. The first Sunday in November.
Yeah. So maybe that's all right.
So they would practice on the football field. So because you could hear the metronome clicking off of that, which, by the way, I meant to tell you. So during the summertime, I would hear the metronome going tick, 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 tick. But it wasn't the metronome. It was the mockingbird that lived in the tree behind our house. And so you would hear it. I'm like, there's no way. It's the end of May, early June that they're out there practicing band. And no, it would be the mockingbird.
It's funny.
Out there hitting the metronome.
State bird of Texas, shout out.
Shout out to the state bird. Fan of the show. They do not make nests in your breezeway of your door.
They're aggressive.
They are aggressive. They are aggressive. But you know
what
else is aggressive?
They're true Texans.
You know what else is aggressive?
What?
The Taco Bell exploding diarrhea lettuce.
Taco
but
Bell
now,
lettuce?
apparently, it was a false positive.
Right. Okay. Well, yeah, I feel bad for Taylor Farms if it really was a false positive.
That's what the news was reporting yesterday, as of July the 21st.
They had it pinpointed to one of their processing facilities in Mexico, and everything else are like, yeah, actually, nope. I just want to know how people distinguish between regular Taco Bell diarrhea and Taco Bell cyclospora diarrhea.
I don't know if
it said it causes explosive diarrhea. I'm like,
so does normal Taco Bell.
Yeah, I think that's probably the false positive. Everybody's like, well, everyone who eats Taco Bell has explosive diarrhea. It must be cyclospora. Maybe it's just Taco Bell.
I mean, you have
a special connection to Taco Bell.
I do have a. It says here, where's the BRED in the Big Mac? I don't know what that means. Twitch. I don't know what that means. I do have Taco Bell has a special place in my heart, and I actually drove by. Where it's more inbred than the Big Mac. Oh, he's talking about Oklahoma. Somebody, one of the people that normally comments is in Oklahoma.
Yeah,
it says howdy from Oklahoma. I was like, what are you talking about? Anyways, I went to go get fast food today because I was at a training in Allen, and so I drove by and it was like a Whataburger, Chick-fil-A, Taco Bell, Wendy's, McDonald's. Guess which parking lot was empty? Taco Bell.
Really?
Not a car in the parking lot, not one in the drive-thru. I told my wife and daughter.
What time of day was it?
This was like 12:30.
Oh yeah, they don't do any business at that 12:30.
Oh yeah, it's 12:30.
The demographic is still asleep.
That's true. That's true. That's true. That's a valid point. Now,
my daughter went there just the other day, and I got the Lot 360 notification. You know, so stopped it. So I was like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "Nothing I get has lettuce on it." And I'm like, "That's a gamble." The lettuce was in the building. Cross contamination. I wouldn't try it. That's something I don't need in my life right now.
Oh, that's inside joke.
Inside joke.
But speaking of things that explode, I saw Starlink in the sky. So have you ever seen it before?
Yeah.
I was occasionally when we go down to Waco, we have some family that live out in the country, and so it's really super dark. And always on the horizon, like it would be like the northern horizon, kind of north facing, about 10:30, 11 o'clock every night. You can see it come right over the horizon. It's like a grid pattern if you've never seen it before. Now, the first time you see it, it's trippy.
Yeah. Like,
but
what is that?
If you know what you're looking for, it was quite good. It's quite fascinating to see how Elon gets all those things in the air like that.
It's a big old long string.
Yeah, well, and then it's like a pattern too. So the grid pattern is like a piece of grid paper.
Yeah.
Because you can even see like because the light reflection, it goes up and down. So yeah, it's it goes. The Twitch says some infected lettuce is a weight loss solution cheaper than Ozempic.
It is. Reminds me of when I had my colonoscopy a few weeks ago. By the way, shout out. If you're of a certain age, you go get it done. It's easy. The colonoscopy is easy.
It's before and
after.
after.
The day before is not. It's not difficult. It's just you've got to plan. You know, you're basically. I left work about, I don't know, between noon 2 o'clock. I don't remember, and I went home and started the preparation. You know, and it was during the NBA Finals.
Okay, well, that's at least you were entertained.
And it was so we were watching Knicks and Spurs early in the finals, and I was just, sitting there, you're drinking it, you mix it up with Gatorade and you're drinking it and like not eating anything. And I'm like, okay. Then all of a sudden I was like, gotta go. And then came back a few minutes later, gotta go. And it was like a little pattern there. Those of you who haven't had one. And then once that's done, you're like, all right, I've passed everything I ever could have and thought about, And then, but the actual like going in the next day, nothing. Like they take you back, get your little IV. The anesthesiologist says, I'm going to give you something to make you sleepy, and then you're out. And then it feels like you wake up immediately. Because
that's a weird feeling.
It's only like a 20 or 30 minute thing. So you don't, I didn't wake up groggy or anything. I woke up and I'm like, the nurse was right there. I was already in recovery. Like, oh, don't hold off if you're of a certain age or have a family history on getting a colonoscopy. It's way too easy to predict.
I feel like mine's coming.
You should.
I feel like it's coming. I went to get my physical Friday, and I showed up, and there's all kinds of issues with my insurance. Some of it was my fault. Some of it was the doctor's office fault. So I get up back, get me all back there, give me my weight, all this stuff, sit down. She's like, oh, well, we can't do this today. And I'm like, why? She's like, well, it hasn't been 12 months.
Oh, I hate that rule.
It's like, you couldn't have told me that before I checked in and made the appointment a month and a half ago?
Yeah.
She's like, well, we'll get you back on the calendar as soon as you can get on. I'm like, oh, okay. But I did have another minor procedure done. I had steroid injections in my feet, on my right foot. Dude, in the moment, I was freaking out because I was like, I've been told this is the worst pain of all. Like getting those steroid injections in your tendons of your feet. The injection wasn't terrible, but I would say like on a scale of 1 to 10, like 10 being at times I couldn't walk. That's where I was. It's like 9 out of 10. Sometimes I couldn't walk, depending on the day of how many steps I'd taken. And they injected that stuff into my feet. I felt instant relief. Instant relief. Now, there's a catch. That was like at 8:30. By noon, I could not walk. Like just because they had numbed my feet. Like they had sprayed this stuff on my feet. Yeah. But like I could feel the tension in my tendons just relax. Well, then she was like, okay, like it's going to feel like it's going to hurt whenever we give it to you. Immediately you should be okay afterwards. But later on today, it's going to be bad. She was like, so try to stay off your feet as much as possible. Boy, she was not lying.
Man, I love steroids. Prednisone's a great drug. Prednisone is one of the things where you still feel the pain, you just don't care.
Yeah.
So I like it. It's like it doesn't make you like totally loose. You know it's still there.
That's where I'm at right now. Like I have on some orthotic sandals that I wear, but like it's not a 10. We sound very old.
I know. We're talking about colonoscopies and orthotic sandals.
But I was telling my wife, I'm like, it's still there. Like that's exactly how I described it. Actually, it's still there, but it's like not on fire.
It's like it just makes it like whatever the condition is, you still feel it, but you don't feel the pain part of it.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, Brett, it's a great drug.
But
steroids are great.
For my son's birthday, took him to see Dude Perfect at Squad Games.
That's cool.
I was impressed. I was impressed by all of it. I was very impressed. No, we're not sponsored by AARP. I wish. They probably pay well.
Yeah, I mean, we get the stuff in the mail for sure. I got my Social Security statement the other day. Like, if you retired today, this is how much you would get, kind of thing. And I'm like, I'm over 20 years away from this.
I was about to say, like, you're a ways away from that.
But, hey, I thought about it. I'm like, actually,
it may not be here.
Not so. Yeah, it's not going to be. We got that on the sheet at the bottom.
So I went to I took him. It was just a guy's date. Couple of observations. First off, if you're a dad and you're taking your son alone to this, be present. Like, stay off your phone. Yeah. Take appropriate amount of pictures. Don't leave them sitting by themselves and go to the bar. Just sit with them.
Yeah.
Lots of bro dads.
Yeah.
Lots of backward hats with camo and sandy colored hats. But the cool thing about it was it was just one of their YouTube shows, just live.
Yeah, that's cool.
And they ended in a worship service, like they sang 2 or 3 songs of worship after. And I knew they were Christians, but I didn't realize that they were that big into it, I guess is the right terminology. But yeah, it was definitely fun.
They're local.
I'll take him again.
They're local. Yeah. They're based out of Frisco.
Well, my daughter used to play club volleyball up by their now warehouse that's up there. And so you would drive over there to see if maybe you could catch a glimpse of them. Yeah. But we never did. It's kind of like Duck Dynasty when you drive by Duck Dynasty.
Yeah, I got a buddy that went to A&M with those guys, and they're doing all that stuff in their backyard of their house at A&M, like before they were ever famous,
Well,
and then it becomes all this, and then so it's pretty cool.
They're millionaires over multiple times. I didn't know that there's 5 of them, but the twins, they owned 51% of Dude Perfect.
Okay.
And so the other 3 owned the other 50%. And what the twins did is they ended up taking their share and splitting it equally 5 ways. So each of them got 20%.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of cool because technically that means that like the twins had 25 and 25, and then everybody else had to break up that.
They gave up control.
Yeah, and that way it was more of a equal amounts part. So I thought that was kind of cool. Cool part of their story.
You see the Dolphin fans are still getting wrecked by Buffalo Bills. Listen, this is one of those things where...
Do we have the video?
Oh, yeah, we got the video. We got the video. It's hard not to laugh. I think
these are the heart-stopping moments.
Like, I would probably laugh.
After I knew he was okay, I would be pissed.
But even if this killed Grandpa, I think it'd be sad this year, but a year or two now, you're like, man, I think you'd even be cracking up. I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe I'm just crazy.
It is kind of, it's a great,
These are the heart-stopping moments a grandfather was attacked by a bison at Yellowstone National Park. The dramatic video posted online by a professional photographer shows a bison which can weigh more than 1,500 pounds, charging after the 65-year-old, flipping him into the air. You see the man and his grandchild stop to take photos of the bison. Seconds later, the massive mammal then charges, chasing the family around trees before the man is thrown multiple feet into the air, seriously injuring him. Another video shows the bison running past tents at a campsite before the incident. The grandfather is lucky to be alive. Millions of people visit Yellowstone every year to see the park's famous wildlife.
Listen. What did the buffalo say to his kid whenever he dropped him off at college?
I don't know.
Bye, son.
Oh, God.
It was like, that is the comedy level of that video. Like, and I'm
These
glad
are the
he's
heart-stopping moments.
Well, we're all glad he's okay, but
I just can't get over the fact that like this continually happens every year.
Well, and she said in the video that the park rangers recommend you stay 25 yards away. It looked like they were about 25 yards. They were
ways away.
So
maybe they just didn't move quick enough. Yeah, I don't.
Maybe so.
I don't.
We've got Yellowstone on the docket. Not next year, maybe in a couple of years. We've got another trip for next year with the kids. But
better schedule it now, though, because you got to get reservations in early. Oh, here's your ladder.
No, I got it. Good. But we, I don't know. Like, it kind of makes me want to wait till the kids are a touch older in case we have to do some evasive maneuvers. Trying to grab up 6 kids and drag them off somewhere.
Yeah, and Grandpa did need those orthotic sandals or the shots. That makes me help. It does help me run a little faster. I just don't have sympathy for that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, you walk in, you know what you're getting yourself into.
Yeah.
If they even like remotely come close to you, you disappear.
Right.
And stay a long ways away.
Yeah. Well, and he, the bison looked pretty aggressive the whole time. He was pawing at the ground, throwing his head up. That's not the time to stop and take a picture. If you've been around animals very long.
Yeah. And I don't know. People do stupid things, and I'm prone to do stupid things too. So, like, I'm sure that there would be a time where I would be like, ooh, look at that bison. Let's get out. And I hope somebody is in the car with me saying, hey, remember that grandpa that got thrown in the air? Let's not do that.
But, I mean, if you had to pick bison or grizzly bear, I'm taking bison all day long.
Oh, for sure.
Because that's another thing.
For sure. Yeah, grandpa does win Darwin Award of the year. Yes, he does. Grandpa does win. Thanks, Twitch. That was a great one.
Well, you know who wasn't as fortunate not to die? That's a bad segue.
That's a bad segue.
Lindsey Graham, man.
That's a bad segue. Yeah. R.I.P.
He was a pretty good guy. I think there's 2 ways you could look at Lindsey Graham. You could either call him wishy-washy, or you could say he adapted to his situation. Because he's very adaptable.
Yes.
He
very bipartisan too.
Well, just kind of whichever the way the wind was blowing. Like he was Mr. Amnesty. He earned the nickname Lindsey Grahamnesty. But now, unlike Trump 2.0, he's all about don't let anybody in, and everybody's got to go back and deport everyone. So he was well known. I mean, he's one of these. He's senator in South Carolina, but well known nationally. Sudden and it stinks.
There were a lot of conspiracy theories that came out when he passed.
Always.
And here's the thing, and I've learned this just being old enough to have people that pass away. Bipartisan, not bisexual. Just to be clear, I said bipartisan.
Yeah.
Yes. If the Twitch broke up, that's what I said. Bipartisan. We are going to talk a little bit more about this in the politics section, but we can dive into it now. Mitch McConnell hasn't died yet, allegedly. So I have been meaning like
the hospital picture is suspect though.
It's very suspect.
Again, I'm the guy. If you've listened to the pod for any length of time, it is difficult to talk me into any conspiracy theory whatsoever. But if you just take the pictures of Mitch McConnell a couple days before he's in the hospital, a few days a week, whatever. And then his hospital picture, they did his makeup at least. Like they came in with a TV crew and did some work on him because he looked great sitting in that hospital bed. Picture of health.
Yeah.
Have you seen the reels and memes that have him like dancing and stuff?
Yes. Yes.
I mean, he's out. He's out in a few, 6 months, but he's retiring. But
so it says the average age of Congress is 59 years old right now.
Yeah.
The average age of the Senate is 63.9. The average age of the House of Representatives is 57.9. Yeah, Twitch is on fire tonight. McConnell with the Weekend at Bernie's impressions.
Yes.
Yeah, those are great. Like, we've got to lower both ages. And I recognize that that's not easy. I also recognize that like 57 is not terrible as far as like average age. But like when you have the face of Congress being the likes of Mitch McConnell, Lindsey Graham, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, like that's the face of Congress. Now that doesn't mean that there aren't others, Brandon Gill, Wesley Hunt, there's members of Congress who are young. What's the lady from the purple-haired lady with the glasses?
Connecticut.
Yeah, from Connecticut. Yeah. Like you just like those
where they don't pasteurize milk.
we just got to figure out how to have an image change.
Well, the thing is like, how else would you do it? It's the people voting for them. It's not like people aren't running against them in the primary.
Allegedly.
But, how else are you going to fix that? The people like.
I don't know. I don't have a solution.
That's why you say like, Kentucky, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah. There's not a great solution for it. And I'm not.
Texas didn't send John Cornyn back.
No, we didn't.
Yeah,
but we put another gray-haired guy against a crazy wacko.
Ken Paxton ain't that old. How old is Ken Paxton?
I don't know, but he looks old.
Not that old.
That's
he
not.
Doesn't look that old.
Now I got to look up how old is Ken Paxton because I don't know. He's not John Cornyn old.
Right.
He is Ken Paxton old. He is 63.
Really?
Yeah.
That's older than I expected.
Yeah. In my,
you would have said 53, I would have believed it.
I saw an image of the average age of the founding fathers. And the average age was in their 30s.
Yeah, they're younger than us.
Yeah, and I recognize this is a different time. I can.
Yeah, the life expectancy was also a lot lower too.
Yes, 100%. And they were well-off people, and they could afford to have that. You know what I mean? Have that lifestyle. But like when we have people who were born in the 60s, Ken Paxton, he was born in 1962. That's a disconnect.
Yeah.
From what's going on. It's like in education when you have like a person who taught pre-COVID and is now leading an instructional group in post-COVID.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's just not the same.
Right.
Now that's just 6 years of turnover, but now imagine like even what it was like when George W. Bush was president. It's nowhere near this. Politics is not the same.
Yeah, we went with 3 really young presidents between Clinton, Bush, W. Bush, and Obama. And then, I mean, Trump and Biden are pretty old, but like Trump seems to have a ton of energy.
Yeah.
So like when you talk about we've got to cut the age down, it's really subjective for who they are.
Yes.
Trump and Biden are basically the same age, totally different people energy-wise.
Yeah, and like Twitch brings up a great point. This is a conversation I've had with this person on Twitch. Like at the end of the day, you got to have younger people run in primaries, and the voters have to choose not to elect the geriatrics.
Yeah.
Like that's a very ageist comment, but it's the truth.
Well, the way you really get rid of that, I mean, you could have someone like Ken Paxton start their first term at 63, 64 years old. But the reason people keep voting for these people who are old, it's not, they didn't just start. They've also been in there for 30 years.
Yeah.
Or 40 years, some of them. And they have the power and they have the pork, and the purse strings. And so that's why they keep getting elected because they have delivered money basically, to their district, to their state.
Yeah. 100%.
And their district and their state want them to keep doing that. So they keep voting for them. The way you get rid of those term limits.
Yep.
And, some people will say, well, are you telling me we can't have, can't keep a great senator like, Ted Cruz or something because of term limits? Yes. There are other good people out there.
Right.
Ted Cruz is great, whatever. But there's other good people out there. I come out of, like my job when I was in public accounting. They have mandatory retirement at 62.
Yeah,
you're
out.
out.
You talking about that?
You're out at 62. Now, they'll let you stay on as an ambassador, and especially if you're a partner, you keep getting paid. But you're out at 62, so that makes room for younger people to come up.
Yeah.
You've got to move those older people out, or else no directors or senior managers are ever going to make partner, because your partners never retire. And then if your senior managers never move up, then your managers and your senior associates never get to move up. Like there's young talent out there. And if you set up term limits, you're not going to have that negative effect where you lose this experience in Congress. Like, you're going to bring up new and fresh ideas, and that experience can still be there as a emeritus, as an ambassador, as a, someone to talk to. But I don't think Congress is ever going to vote term limits for themselves, but I'm a huge proponent.
Same.
Give senators 2 years, which is 12, and give Congress the same. Give them 6 terms, 12 years.
Yeah.
You get a dozen
and then
years.
You have the president stay at 8. I think that's a perfect.
You get a dozen years, and then you got to go back and live under the laws you created.
And that fixes a lot of the issues of like money and trading and insider trading and things like that. It just
if you have to just put your money in a blind trust for 6 or 12 years, depending on how long you stay in, then it's not such a big deal. They don't, put your money in a blind trust and don't trade for that 12 years you're serving your country.
Well, and Lindsey Graham, kind of putting a bow on this section, but Lindsey Graham.
Yeah, say something nice about him, because I feel like I started the section off.
I don't think you did. I think Lindsey Graham was one of the least wealthy congressmen.
Yeah, he got what, 1.3 million.
Yeah, he didn't have a lot of money. Now that doesn't mean that he doesn't have some sheltered something somewhere that we don't know about. But publicly, he's not uber wealthy like some of these other guys are. So I think that he served his country well. It was very obvious that he worked very very hard. He called what's his name from Tennessee or Mississippi, Tommy Tuberville, the night of his heart attack, and said, "Hey, I'm having some chest pains." And he was like, "Well, you need to call the ambulance."
Yeah, why'd you call me?
Yeah, why'd you call me? And he was like, "I just need help." And so by the time the ambulance got there, he was already passed. So that's kind of puts a bow on. I don't really, history will be kind to Lindsey Graham, long term, just because of who he was and how he represented himself, and especially if his sister continues his legacy, which it looks like today, July the 21st of 2026, it looks like she's going to continue or going to attempt to run to replace his spot.
And that's what throws water on a lot of the conspiracy theories about reducing the Republican Senate majority. Lindsey Graham is in a state where the governor gets to appoint.
Yeah.
There are some states where that's not the case, and there has to be a special election and the seat sits empty.
Isn't that the problem with Mitch McConnell?
I don't know about Kentucky.
I think that's the way it is.
Why he has to stay.
Something about August 1st or 2nd. I read an article about, again, I'm butchering this, and it was in like the Washington Post or New York Post, something along those lines. It was about how if he dies before August, the first week in August, then they have to have an open primary. But if they don't, something along those lines.
I don't think they would for him. Well, if they want to replace him before the end of his term, and then there's not time to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you'd just be down a senator.
Yeah,
at that
and
point.
I think that's what it was.
Yeah. And then you get the new Congress sworn in.
Exactly. Because he has an election
in January.
Yeah. So there's
Speaking of other senators, Graham Platner, since we talked, so this got put on the run sheet before it actually happened. I put on the run sheet there are new allegations against Graham Platner, which we talked about, the Senate candidate from Maine. All of the things, go back and listen to, what was that, 68?
Yeah, 68.
68, where we talked about all of the allegations against Graham Platner, who was the shoe-in front-runner winner for the Democrat nominee to run for Senate in Maine against Susan Collins, who is technically a Republican, but quite the moderate Republican, and Susan Collins. And so new allegations came out. I guess these were just the icing on the cake or the straw that broke the camel's back, whatever you want to say. He started canceling events. He had to withdraw by July 13th. He did. So to give the party time to replace him on the ballot. And did you watch the debate?
I did. Hold on, before we move on to the debate. Hold on to
man.
let's not pick a person who has a Nazi emblem on his body.
How about that? How about that?
Like, and is proud of it. Let's not pick that person.
Yeah.
Either party, either
one.
There are things that are like, hey, that disqualifies you from running for public office.
Probably,
that needs to be at the very top of the list.
Well, and just somebody like, I don't know. It's one of the things that I worry about with Ken Paxton running when you have just all of this baggage.
Yeah.
Like sometimes, and like all of it, to this date has become much ado about nothing. But sometimes you got to say where there's smoke, there's fire. Sometimes, I don't know, but
or maybe it's just a cigar.
Maybe it's just a really fat cigar.
This is good.
Yeah, I'm done with mine already.
I got another one if you want. Not another one of these, but
yeah, I'm good on that.
It's good.
Anyway, he did get I guess withdraw by July 13th, so they're going to replace him on the ballot. Man, that debate, that was something else.
That person,
I think Susan Collins got a good shot keeping her seat based on what we saw there, and it just makes the Democrats look like a complete disarray. And Maine is a pretty independent state; they go either way.
Right.
So it's not like you have these staunch Democrats in Maine who are going to just vote Democrat no matter who's on the ballot. No, they're going to look at this, clown show, to segue to something else, that the Maine Democrats have for their Senate candidate and say, Susan Collins ain't so bad. I think that's what's going to happen. I think she holds her seat,
100%.
which is good. I'm starting to put my maps together and everything to start talking about in August when we get on the pod on the upcoming midterms. So I think I'm moving. I had Maine in a complete toss-up. Because I think, I don't understand it with all the allegations against Graham Platner, but he had such a following.
He did.
And I was like...
And there was a ton of money
dumped
into that race.
That is a complete toss-up, but I'm moving it over to the leans Republican-ish Susan Collins now.
I'm excited about that. So while we're talking about Congress, on this week's episode of Congressional Clown Show, or... as the run sheet says, CCS. There were many candidates.
Turn the volume up on this.
Hold on. There were many candidates this week. Actually, I take that back. There was one today. I thought about putting friend of the show, Jasmine Crockett, on.
Oh,
I think she will make a representation next week.
About rooting for Spain is racist. That's
no, Argentina.
No, she said rooting for Spain is racist.
Oh,
she was saying that. Why do you think most people are rooting for Spain? And the guy she was talking to said, "I think they're because of the better team." Like maybe that's got something to do with it.
That's going to make an appearance on our socials this evening.
Yeah, we need to post that.
It's going to. It's in the process.
But here's old Chucky Schumer.
Now on Iran and the NDAA. When all the Trump administration can say, the American people need to know, of course, how and why this chaos is spreading through their streets.
Play the whole thing.
We need complete.
Hold up. Because I forgot to, for the Twitchers.
Oh, you didn't put it up there. Okay,
Sorry, Twitchers.
Yeah, you're good. You got to start it over.
I don't know if it will.
Investigation that's independent. Now on Iran and the NDAA. When all the Trump administration can say about his disastrous war with Iran is that Vietnam was worse, a point Trump made yesterday, he reveals the scale of his failure. Now on Iran and the NDAA. When all the Trump administration can say, the American
that
people
was not
need to
a
know, of
soundbite.
course,
That was
how
not a
and why
soundbite.
this chaos is spreading through their streets,
and
we.
He just keeps going. He just keeps.
He looks
going.
up a little bit like, anybody hear that? That's old dude though, man. Old dudes just will.
Maybe he had a colonoscopy coming up.
Well, then he better get off the Senate floor. That's not a time to be filibustering.
Well, there were several members of Congress who were asked.
You want to be no more than a good 20, 25 feet from the bathroom when you're doing a prep. You have a limited amount of time from signal to delivery.
That's the title of today's show. You have a limited time for delivery. Oh, that's hilarious. But like, I saw several members of Congress who were asked, like, did that actually happen or was that a bit? And every single one of them were like, yes, it happened.
No, straight up.
And then he was kind of stopped. He was stopped and
they
asked him.
You ever let one in a public place, let one surprise you, one slip by?
Schumer needs to drain his swamp. Maybe he does. I can't.
That's the title for the episode. Schumer needs to drain his swamp. Or it sounds like he did.
Maybe. I'm sure I have. I'm sure I have.
Yeah.
I mean, over the years of teaching, I'm sure there's been a time where I've crop dusted a kid or something on accident or on purpose.
Accident.
I don't know. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
I don't know. It just goes back to what we were talking about with age. Like, does he even know that it happened?
Yeah.
Like my grandpa used to when he would have his earring aids off because he didn't think anybody could hear it because he couldn't hear it. And then when he would turn his hearing aids on, he wouldn't do it.
Yeah. I don't think he noticed that one.
Because he paused.
Well, I mean, whether you hear it or not, it was concussive.
That's just
Those poor pages and aides sitting right behind him too, you know? Like,
yeah, old man fart stinks.
What happened on the Capitol today, son? I got farted on by Chuck Schumer, by the Senate Minority Leader. Old Chuck.
Oh man,
it gives us a good laugh though.
It does, and sometimes that's what you need because like I get into these C-SPAN clips and videos, and so because I'm the person that posts a lot of this stuff, and I'm just like, this is depressing because it's like it gets to be the same stuff. Like I could literally post almost verbatim comments that are made every week. It's almost the same every week, but I want to circle back a little bit to a World Cup.
Yeah.
Did you watch?
Oh yeah.
So here's my question, and then I want to kind of dissect this. Does the United States have a Messi?
No.
And what I mean by that,
I mean, he plays in the U.S., but no. Even the U.S. men's national team trained in Europe.
Yes.
From a young age.
Yes.
We don't have the programming over here.
But what I mean is do we have a sports savior like Argentina has in Messi? And so like I was trying to think of like a sports, like I was like, okay, like MJ maybe, but not everybody in the country knows who MJ is. Not everybody knows LeBron. Not everybody knew Peyton Manning or Dak Prescott or Sidney Crosby if you're going hockey, or Jamie Benn or baseball. You could name a handful.
Yeah.
But does America have that type of sports figure that transcends sports to where it's dang near worship? And I couldn't think of one.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like just in the NFL. Like, I don't think I've ever seen a time whenever people were chanting someone's name from the stands, right?
And I couldn't. Oh, that's a great point. Twitch says Taylor Swift. But that's not sports. It's kind of pop culture, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's diehard, cult level.
But that's kind of what this is, man. Like when you watch that, and like I was my son was asking, he was like, why is he crying? I'm like, because he understands. And I was trying to explain it to him. Obviously he's not, so he didn't quite understand. But like, why do you like Messi? He was like, because he's the best. And I'm like, yes, but he's the best in the country and in the world at the sport that they worship.
Yeah.
And so.
And has been for a long time. He didn't win anything in the World Cup.
Yeah, not this year.
Didn't win Golden Boot, anything this time around. But for a long time has been the guy. So.
And I like watching.
But I mean, watching someone who's that level of good in a sport. I mean, yeah, MJ comes to mind, Tiger comes to mind, Kobe comes to mind, and I'm not a big basketball watcher, but I remember with my brother-in-law watching the NBA Finals in the '90s with the Chicago Bulls, and like Jordan was on a different level.
Yeah,
dude's on a different planet. That's why they made the movie Space Jam. But like the way, I mean, Messi's the same way.
Yeah,
and has been the same way. Tiger is the same way. Like just those shots, like dude, like and able to come back from. Yeah, I'm just trying to think what the corollary is in the NFL.
I just don't think there is one.
It is such a team sport. Like you can have a quarterback who can just throw dimes, but you got to have somebody catching it.
Yeah.
You got to have somebody getting separation on the other end. It's even those shutdown corners get beat. I mean, maybe just Dion because he played both sides.
Yeah, that's true.
But if you think about people who are on the court or the field that scare you,
I mean, in Dallas, it would be Dirk.
yeah.
But I'm really just trying to think about like across the country where people would travel thousands of miles, spend tens of thousands of dollars to go and watch him play. No. And I just don't think that exists here.
No, and it doesn't need to exist here. It's just so accessible.
Yeah.
Like whatever your team is, you don't have to travel that far to see them. And they're probably coming to your town every few years anyway.
That's true.
So.
That's valid. But it was a great game. I did not enjoy the third place game, which I saw someone post on the socials about like imagine if there was a third place football game, what that would look like. And
they talked about it.
Yeah, it would probably look like that, a 6-4, or it would be like 92-74.
I like that game because
lots of scoring.
At the beginning, it looked like England was going to run away with it. Then France made it interesting, and then it became a game.
Yeah,
like in the beginning, it was just cool to watch England because I would root for England over France.
100%.
So Bellingham is one of my son's favorite players.
Did he play?
Harry Kane.
Harry Kane didn't play.
No. So my son said this, and I didn't go Google it to research it and find out. But basically that the manager for England said he could beat France with his best players on the sideline. And he almost did.
He almost did.
Because, it took till the 85th minute they put in Bellingham. And they won in full time. So, but Harry Kane didn't play. That was a fun game for me to watch. It was fun watching those guys just go to town in the first half, and then France, scored a couple times early after halftime, and like that was interesting.
I lost interest. I'm not gonna lie. After that, after it got to what was 3-0 at halftime, I'm like, this is not fun to watch. I gave up on it. But that was the only one. I will honestly say that's the only one where I was just like, I'm out. The Spain Argentina game, even though Argentina, and that's who I was rooting for. I was rooting for Messi and Argentina. Right. Like, even though they had 0 shots on goal, I just kept thinking, he's going to get loose.
He's going to,
something's going to happen.
Yeah.
And we were sitting there watching it, and I told my wife, I'm like, man, it just feels like
that's what made that game interesting. Is that Argentina scored 13 of their goals after the 75th minute in the entire World Cup.
And
so they're never out of it.
Well, and they had multiple opportunities to score the equalizer.
Yeah.
And they just couldn't put it in.
Yeah, a couple of those bad crosses, nobody home.
Well, I enjoyed
watching soccer now. I used to not be able to watch it because it's like hockey. I didn't understand it. Like I could watch the puck move around the screen on TV, and I don't get it. But now that my boys are playing club soccer and have for a few years, it's like now I get it a little bit, like what they're trying to do. And so it's a lot more interesting to me.
Yeah, same.
You see the moves, and I'm like, I'm telling my son, like, you see Iniesta, you see Croqueta, and which are just 2 simple moves, but it's cool because our boys have learned those.
Okay.
And so what are they doing? They're on the rug in front of the TV in the living room with their soccer ball,
right?
Like doing their moves right there. Like it's just a fun time for the family. We've become soccer people. I never thought we would be.
On the political side and the business side, it was a 100% success.
Yeah.
Across the board, from Mexico all the way to Canada and everywhere in between. I saw that I'll speak specifically about like the Metroplex area saw like an $8 billion increase in across the board. They were the Lyft. What's the other one? The rideshare companies.
Uber Lyft.
Pre and post game saw 90 to 95% increase in services.
Yeah.
And so
it doubled attendance.
Yeah.
So from all the previous years, if you look at every World Cup going back, the last 20 or 30 years, it doubled the attendance. And now, yes, we have bigger stadiums in the U.S. for sure. But even go back to the 94 World Cup when it was in the U.S., we doubled attendance.
We didn't have stadiums like we have now.
That's true too. But I just think more people came to watch it too.
Yeah. Well, and there wasn't originally there was like, oh, well, the closed borders are going to cause issues with people getting in. That's not true. None of that happened. There were there were a couple of threats that were squashed relatively quickly. I posted on the socials that the FBI said that they approved like 300,000 emergency visas.
Along
those lines.
I just threw something out off the cuff, but we may not be correct. Wembley in England holds 90,000.
I will say,
and
though,
I know that's a big one.
That's a big one, but the other ones don't hold that much because they were talking about on the radio station 105.3 The Fan this morning, and they were saying that some of the stadiums in Germany are smaller than Allen's football stadium.
Yeah.
So maybe Wembley is that size. I mean, that's the same size as AT&T here.
Right.
You know, not for soccer, but for American football. So I just think that, like, across the board, it was a complete and total success. 2038, we've thrown out our name into the hat, and that could be the expansion of the tournament to 64 teams.
Across Europe, it's 40 to 60,000.
Okay.
Seat stadiums.
So you're talking about maybe an average of 20,000 people more here.
Right. But we doubled off of that.
Yeah. Well, and there were more games too.
Right.
So I just think that, like, you put people who don't like Trump will not give him this victory, but he is 100% the reason why this was a success.
Yeah.
Now, FIFA did their part, the cities did their part, the local governments and the state governments did their part, Canada did their part, Mexico did their part. But, like, it was his proposal that got them to come in 2026. He proposed in like 16, 17. I can't remember exactly what year it was. And then now he's proposed again to take it in 2038.
Right. I think overall, everyone would say they had a positive experience coming to the U.S. for FIFA.
Yeah.
Everyone who came from Europe, South America, wherever, would say it was a positive experience. Maybe not the Iranian national team, but everybody else.
But there's a reason for that.
There's a reason.
A reason for that. I want to end the show with with American football, but I do want to talk about this. There was a runner. His name is Josh Kerr, who ran a mile in 3 minutes and 42 seconds, and that set a world record.
I can beat that.
Okay. So it got me thinking. I was going to ask you, what do you think you could go? I couldn't run one anymore, but how long do you think it would take you to walk a mile? Could you do it in less than 20 minutes?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Last time I did it, I was under 15 minutes.
I don't run that much. I just don't do a lot of cardio. But when I was running, I was running 7-minute miles.
Okay. I think my best was
7-minute miles on the treadmill.
Okay.
Okay. So that's a difference. But yeah.
Well, yeah, you have elite high school. I wrote this down too. Like, you have elite high school kids that are in the 4:15s.
Yeah.
Like, and that's crazy.
That is crazy.
Fast.
That's crazy.
So fast. That's so fast. A couple of other news and notes before we move on to
Did you run
politics.
track?
I did. I ran cross country and track.
Oh, you were a long distance runner.
Yeah, I was a distance runner.
I was a sprinter.
I was not good. I was just training for basketball. I was just conditioning for basketball.
Yeah.
So, like, I was never like the guy that was like, hey, I'm going to go out here and put in 15 to 20 miles
Here's
a
the
day.
thing. They're getting so much faster now. I think I ran a 54 quarter, which was back then was pretty fast for high school. The same year in 2000 when Michael Johnson ran a 46 in the Olympics. 8 seconds is a lot of time on a quarter. That's really a lot faster.
You said you ran a 54?
54.
That would be pretty good now.
Now they're running in those.
At
you got kids running in the high 40s.
Right, but you're talking about big schools like 6A, Roy City, like small mid-level schools.
That's true. We're a little 3A school.
4A. But like,
I was 3A when I was there.
Oh, I'm saying like now.
Yeah.
Like, it's like if you're running as a girl, if you're running a sub 60, you're pretty good.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not like you're not winning a state championship, but you could advance out of your district and into your regionals and area. Another little bit of data. I had not. Do you want to talk about the Emmys?
I just think it's worth noting. This is shocking. No, 50-50. It's shocking to me in one sense, and then it's like, oh, duh, it's Hollywood. But I was surprised to learn that no Taylor Sheridan show has ever won an Emmy. They've had a few technical nominations, and this year long they're nominated for stunt coordination, which is a technical nomination on Tulsa King. But you think about Yellowstone, 1923, 1883, Lioness, which is a masterpiece of a show.
Yep.
Tulsa King.
Yep.
And he's got a ton of stuff. I started watching a new one of his called The Madison. It's not superb, but it's pretty good so far. I'm only a couple episodes in. I just saw that it was in the Taylor Sheridan universe, and I'm like, oh, Taylor Sheridan made this. It's going to be good. I'm going to watch it. Like, he has that kind of reputation.
Yeah.
Like, his shows like are so good and like capture like a huge portion of the country. So if this guy's shows can't get nominated for, and like, it's not just no-name actors. I mean, Harrison Ford, Helen Mirren, Morgan Freeman,
Michelle Pfeiffer, Morgan Freeman, Nicole Kidman. Who's the girl in Lioness? Who's the actual Lioness? I know who you're talking about. I can see your face.
Gosh dang it. But all these A-list actors are in his shows. So it's like, it's not acting talent. It's a great story. It's one of those where like it's dropping on Sunday night. We're going to watch it on Sunday night. We're not waiting until Monday or Tuesday, like when Yellowstone was really in its fame.
Zoe
Zaldana. Yeah. I mean, A-list actor, like all of them, like that's just tells you where Hollywood's at, we've got to mention Landman and Billy Bob Thornton.
Yeah.
You know, like I can't wait for season 3 of Landman to come out. It's a great show.
It just falls into that category of that he's never gonna.
It just tells you the awards mean nothing.
Exactly.
Because you have someone who's created an entire universe of shows that has captivated America, that America wants to watch, America does watch, millions and millions of streams, A-list actors, and he can't win a single Emmy. Like,
so here's
awards
the list.
mean nothing.
Yellowstone, 1883, 1923, The Dutton Ranch, which is just out now.
Yeah.
Marshalls, which is a great TV show.
Yeah.
The Mayor of Kingston.
Oh, Mayor of Kingstown, yeah.
Yeah, Mayor
with
of Kingstown.
Hawkeye from Marvel Universe.
Jeremy
Renner, yeah.
Tulsa King.
Yep. Which
Lioness.
now has Samuel L. Jackson in it, too.
Yes.
Besides the fighter, what's his name? Sly Stallone.
Yeah.
Is in
Sylvester
there.
Stallone.
Yeah, so like, again, A-list actors.
Lioness, Lawman.
I didn't see
that was a
Lawman.
standalone one.
Okay.
Bass Reeves. Landman, which you said. The Madison,
The Ballad
which you
of
said.
Bass Reeves is a good one. That's
Yep.
a movie.
And then The Last Cowboy. And now he has coming out The Frisco King.
With Samuel L. Jackson.
With Samuel L. Jackson, and then The Four Sixes.
And then I didn't list on there, but The Madison is one of his too.
Yeah, I said that.
Okay.
Yeah. And so like these are great shows. I mean, this is just total bias of he's kind of gone outside of the scope of what Hollywood is. And yeah.
There used to be a time, like even getting away from the Emmys, but the Oscars, there used to be a time when like every movie nominated for Best Picture, it was like, I want to watch that this year. If I haven't seen it, like I want to go see it. Now, there are some odd movies, man, that get nominated for Best Picture that aren't just, it's not just that they're different. They're just not good. There was one, I forget, it's like Bulgovia or something like that.
This year? You're talking about this year?
This past year, nominated, or maybe the year before, but it was on, it was in one of the movies on the plane last time I was flying, and I'm like, all right, it's nominated for Best Picture. I'll watch it. Man, I just couldn't get through an hour of it, dude. It was horrible. Like, it makes no sense. Like, here's an idea, have a plot.
Okay, here you go. It's called, I don't even know how to say this, Bugonia.
Begonia.
Begonia.
It's not a good movie, y'all. Don't waste your time on it.
F1 Frankenstein.
F1 was a good movie.
F1 was a great movie. By the way, a friend of the show podcast, that was at the movies. F1 was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was his first, the first one. Yeah, I just think that Taylor Sheridan rubbed people the wrong way, and he's never going to be able to get that. Not that he really wants it.
Listen, Taylor Sheridan and all those shows, you have my award.
100%. And and people tune in, and he wouldn't keep producing these shows, and they wouldn't continue to put them on
He's
the air.
An absolute zillionaire from this stuff. So
like he owns the Four Sixes Ranch now.
Yeah.
Like, and if you don't know what that is and you're not from Texas, you just Google it and you'll understand why that's a big deal. In other current event news, women over the age of 40 are having more babies than teenagers.
Yeah, I'm noticing that.
So, first off, we are both in our 40s. I want to say this very loud and clear. I love my children to death. I cannot imagine having a baby right now.
Dude, I think about this every day of the week. We were, where were we? I don't know. We were somewhere, and I saw a pregnant lady walking by, and like, this is so bad, but I was thinking in my head, I'm like, oh, I'm glad that's not us. I just have that every time I see someone with a diaper bag or a stroller or that's pregnant. I'm like, I'm just so glad that's not us. I'm so glad to be done.
Oh man, you have. So we have a Facebook acquaintance.
Imagine.
What do you call people that like you're Facebook friends with them, but you're not friends with them outside of just seeing their feed?
Well, like, but you knew him from something else and became
at some
Facebook
point,
friends. Yeah.
At some point, you accepted friends or friend requests, and he's older than us,
Okay.
and she's our age,
Yeah.
and they have 2 children from separate marriages, and now they're having a newborn.
Listen, if you want to,
They're older though. Like their kids are like
yeah,
our older daughter's age.
yeah.
And they have a child older than that.
Listen, like, I'm not knocking anybody who wants to have kids in their 40s. Do what you want, have what you want. I'm just glad it's not me.
Yeah, same, brother. But I find this interesting. This data point, and the article I shared it on our Facebook page. The article came from, I don't even remember, but like it goes back to what I have been preaching, that kids are smarter now than they were 20 years ago. And I think also this delay of having children comes with the whole concept of like, let's enjoy the 20s and 30s and wait to settle down until we get to be older. And you have financial stability and things like that.
You have more women in careers.
Yes.
More women, and gosh, let me say this carefully. Like, this is an observation, not a, like, this isn't, it's just an observation. It seems that you have more women in major breadwinner of the family careers.
Yes.
Whereas used to be, especially like us growing up, it doesn't mean it didn't exist. It's just on the average, you had a lot of where the men made the most money of the family relationship. And if the wife worked, it was a job where they could quit for a few years if they wanted to, kind of thing. And that just doesn't happen anymore.
No, it doesn't.
You have more level playing field equality and like earning power between the jobs. And there's no statistics I'm talking about to back that up, whatever. But
that's
it's just a cultural observation.
Yeah, that's a very valid observation.
It seems like when we were growing up, and even 20 years ago when we were sort of like out of high school and grown, you had more women who are kind of like 50-50, like, I'm going to raise a family, but I'm also going to work some. And now it's like, no, I'm going to work. And I don't know. I feel like I'm really walking on eggshells over here.
I cannot say what you just said. The person that texted me that, I cannot say that on air.
But it just, there's more career mindedness in both sides of the house right now. So,
did you happen to listen to JD Vance on JRE?
No, not yet.
Okay, so he was on last week. This kind of segues into the next. Well,
good. Get me off this topic.
No. It's an important topic to talk about because it also it goes into what the democratic socialist concept and ideas.
Oh, jeez, these guys.
Like, one of his points were, and like he comes off as an apologist several times in the show, because like when a buddy texts me who doesn't listen to Joe Rogan all the time, but he listens to a lot of JD Vance. He was like, why do they spend so much time talking about aliens? I'm like, then you don't listen to Joe Rogan. You don't listen to Joe Rogan very often.
His comedy club is called the Comedy Mothership.
Yeah, and he
likes the aliens.
He likes aliens, and that's and it's also like a bit that he does too, right? Yeah. I think he does believe that there are extraterrestrials.
Oh, 100%.
But
he's
convinced. It's also a bit too.
Yeah.
And so, like one of the things he was talking about was giving the family the opportunity to be able to raise children, and how we have to give young people the ability to not only have stake in the country, but also stake in the government. And right now we aren't doing a very good job of that. His argument was that the messaging has been bad for the last 40 years. I can't say that I necessarily disagree with him on that part, but it also has to do with the fact that we punished the family for not having dual income families. Like, we've made it so expensive, and that's both parties' fault. It's almost impossible to have a stay-at-home parent. It's not impossible, but it definitely dampens. Like, you don't have, your starter home is no longer, $1,000.
No, I think some of that perspective is where we live.
That's true.
We live in an affluent part of Texas, and buying a home in the neighborhoods we live in, you're going to need to have two incomes unless, one of you is banking.
Is doing very well.
Yeah. But I think in other parts of the country, not even parts of the country, other parts of Texas, you can still find that more affordable home, drive used cars, you can make it work on a standard income. But I don't know. It is much more difficult. I'm not immune to that. I'm just glad we bought our house when we did.
Me too. I'm glad I bought my house when I did, which is a month ago. But it was, for me, it was all God's timing. That's the only way to explain the way that we were able to get what we got.
But it's like, even outside of house, like our house isn't super fancy, but it has to be a certain size because we have 6 dadgum kids. Like, and not only that, but just paying for 6 kids.
Yeah. And it's expensive.
Like, if we didn't want to have 3 kids playing club soccer and 2 kids in band and 1 going to college, okay, if we didn't have all that, things would be a lot cheaper. But when we buy some groceries, and it's just the clothes, it's like, gosh, all, and they grow so fast. Like it's really expensive, and it's, for 6 children. And so, we both work.
Do you want to talk about the contract that got canceled or no?
Yeah. So it just happened today. So it's current event, breaking news here on the pod. We're going to post this 2 days later. So we've talked about this before. We adopted 3 kids, and we adopted 2 of those 3 out of foster care. And of course, we had several foster placements and kids in our home that we did not adopt over the years before we adopted ours. And then our last was a private adoption, but she's a sibling to our other 2. And so Texas DFPS, Department of Family Protective Services, that's the big heading. That's CPS, if you know that acronym. What they fall under is Texas DFPS. They today, kind of abruptly, although it's kind of the writing's been on the wall for a little bit, canceled a contract with Empower, which is a third-party company that handled a lot of CPS cases. So we didn't have to deal with this when we were foster parents. When we were foster parents, we dealt with CPS workers one-on-one. They were our person. You got a lot of other people in your house whenever you're a foster parent. You've got CASA workers, which are usually almost great. We love those people. You've got guardian ad litems. You've got your agency that you're going through and working with, your foster care agency, and the state workers who are CPS workers in your home constantly every month, checking on things. But there's such a shortage of CPS workers that in many counties, because they do it county by county in Texas, they outsource that to private companies. We didn't have to deal with that. But for the last few years, the 9 counties, basically in our county and all the surrounding areas like Dallas, Fort Worth area and south, were handled by this third-party company called Empower, and they're just horrible. Like, we are very connected still in the foster community. I have meetings actually once a month that we go to with other foster families, and we just get to kind of, help them because of our experience and kind of talk through things and kind of a support group sort of thing. Plus, we're just connected with people that are still fostering or have fostered or adopted. And there's so many complaints about Empower and just how they've run things.
I did not realize how much money they were getting.
Yeah. And so it's been horrible. And so Texas abruptly canceled the contract in these 9 counties today, but it's not going to be any better. Like, they're all going to OCOK, which is Our Community, Our Kids is what that stands for, which has been around a long time. And our county, when we were fostering, was not an OCOK county, but it's not much better. It just stinks, man. The state is not equipped to handle this. I'll get on my soapbox and say, like, communities and churches should be handling this just completely. But the state gets involved and messes everything up. And it's just, you just hear, all the time, every month, we are hearing heartbreaking stories about parents just trying to love on and care for kids. But Empower was definitely not getting it done. And so that contract got canceled today.
$137.6 million.
Yeah. And they'll go to OCOK. And then there's Dallas County's going to a different one. Texas Family something.
Texas Family Initiative.
Yeah. So they, man, it's just sad. It's just sad. So if you know people out there who are fostering or have been through that, it is a tough, it's like, I'm not going to say caring for the kids is easy. It's not. We've had some really challenging foster placements. It's a challenging life. But the most challenging thing about being with a foster parent is dealing with the bureaucracy. Hands down.
Well, Britt Money said the same thing.
Yeah. I adopted dad too.
So here are the counties: Dallas County, Collin County, Rockwall County, Ellis County, Navarro County, Hunt County, Kaufman County, Fannin County, and Grayson County.
Yeah, our whole area.
Yeah.
It's just heartbreaking, and it makes no sense. Thankfully, our experience, and I know this isn't everyone's experience. Thankfully, our experience is, especially in our immediate area, is we have some good judges who see through that BS. Because, we go to courts too. We go to court dates. Every time our kid would have a court date, we'd be there, me or my wife or both of us. And thankfully, we have some good judges who see through that BS. We have some good judges who will sit there and, tear CPS or that one of these agencies or the biological parents a new one, basically, for not getting their stuff done. And that's good to see that the kids have a real advocate out there with some authority, like a judge, who can try to make it a little bit better. But it's a very rewarding and fulfilling and sad.
All in the same.
All in the same, yeah.
Yeah, you guys have my prayers, guys. We've discussed it, but never kind of just life never presented itself at the right time. And there's no right time, I suppose, but
it's a good thing that empowers out. I've heard so many complaints about it and just these horror stories from people who are in it in the thick of it right now. So I'm glad kind of for them. I hope OCOK has gotten better. And hopefully it'll be better than Empower. But if you know some of those people, be a listening ear, be a support. They need it.
Yeah. Another thing that got shut down. Doge
shut down officially.
It's kind of been it's been out of the news for a while.
Yeah, kind of ever since Elon got it.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of as soon as Elon, I think he was on actually Joe Rogan, and
the celebrity face of Doge.
Yeah. Well, and when he said like some of the stuff, I don't even want to go down because I'm worried about for my life.
Yeah.
When someone like an Elon says that's kind of terrifying. But yeah, it officially shut down I guess it was probably a week ago.
I'm sure they'll, and you can look up, and I looked up some numbers about this much savings, that much savings. Man, it's just a drop in the bucket. Like, I appreciate the effort, but, I don't think we've had any sweeping changes. I think what's the guy's name that was in Minneapolis and now he's in California?
I don't know.
Did I make the video share? I forget his name, but he's making videos. He was the Quality Learing Center guy who exposed that. I almost think that has a greater effect than what Doge was able to do. So I don't know.
I'm looking it up because it was like I typed in the Doge YouTube.
Something Shirley.
But yeah, it'll come up. Yeah, I think this is a grandioso idea. Doge was, and
it was a great for the campaign.
Oh, 100%.
But just didn't really materialize, in my opinion, to what we all thought it would be, or hoped it would be, I guess I should say.
Yeah, the idea was good. The execution, not so much.
Well, it's like, topic for another pod, but until you address, entitlement spending, you're not going to really work on waste or make a dent in the budget.
We'll talk about entitlement spending.
Oh, geez.
DSA wants to change the way the government runs.
And DSA is who?
Democratic Socialist Alliance.
Of America, I thought.
Of America.
Yeah.
Alliance of America. They call for the ending of the presidency, the Supreme Court, and they want to put all powers of government into the Congress.
Right. Get rid of the Senate.
Because that does so well.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, I watched a couple of interviews with these people, and they said, we want to move to more of a prime minister model instead of a president model. You realize the president is elected at large in the U.S., whereas a prime minister, like in the UK, is chosen by the legislature. So essentially, those two parties are aligned. the prime minister and parliament are aligned because the leading party in parliament chooses the prime minister. So at least in America with a president, you have the potential for opposing viewpoints
Right.
between the Congress and the president. You don't really have that chance with a prime minister model. So that didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. They don't like the Senate. Their biggest complaint about the Senate is that California only gets 2 senators. Yeah. But they get 50 congressional representatives. Like, that's the way they set it up, y'all. Like, so the big states and the smaller states would have some type of equality. But the Senate does have more power. The Senate confirms judicial nominees to the Supreme Court, cabinet appointees where Congress doesn't have any say in that. And so the Senate is the more powerful body. So what they found is that there are more Republican states. It's like 27-23 that are Republican versus Democrat states in the U.S. And so that gives an advantage for Republicans to the Senate, which is the more powerful body. So they want to just get rid of the Senate. I don't know, man.
How about you just get your platform on the same page? Like, get your party on the same page, and then you could literally run Congress.
It sounds very hammer and sickle when they're talking because it's all about the workers unite, workers this, workers that. And I'm like, there's been a country that tried that once. The United Soviet Socialist Republic. They're not here anymore. That didn't go great.
Well, last time this happened, when the wall came down, no one ran to the socialist side.
Right. Yeah, they had to put the wall up to keep them in. Do they not teach this anymore?
Yes.
History teacher,
okay,
former history teacher,
we literally have a whole unit on communism and socialism and the differences between the two.
I just wonder how that content is taught in other states.
I don't know the answer to that question.
Right. It's like if you're teaching socialism in a good light, but in other states, then I could see how you get people coming through and getting into universities and thinking this is the way to go. This is so wonderful. Kumbaya, everything's going to be great. But it's
but
no,
did they not teach the Russian Revolution?
It's just good on paper. Every time you try this, it doesn't work out. Every time you try this, it doesn't work out.
I don't have a good answer for you, man. I think that maybe I'm just shooting pie in the sky here. Maybe it's. I think it goes. Hold on. I think it goes back to what J.D. Vance said: is that young people don't feel an attachment to the American dream anymore. And I can't help but wonder if that's part of the disconnect between
I would agree with that.
Between our parents' generation, our generation, and now our kids' generation. Yeah. There's a disconnect there because our parents' age people. So I'm talking about 60 and older. They see everything online is pro-Trump, pro-Trump, pro-Trump.
Yeah.
Well, we have now our algorithm is somewhere in between.
Yeah.
Most of the people that I would associate with. I see some things that are a little bit Democrat, some things that are a little bit Republican, some ideas I'm like, I could at least understand where you're coming from. But then our kids stuff is just straight socialist.
Yeah. I could see
people, and there's a disconnect there.
I could see people, our age and younger looking at the difficulty of buying a home. And like I say, which is, they say the American dream is owning your own home. It's part of the American dream. And looking and saying something's got to change. I want to have my career. I want to get married. I want to eventually have kids. I want to own my own home. And there's this roadblock in front of me that is cost and expense.
Yes.
And looking at that and saying something's got to change and then pointing that blame at government. I could see that take. And then looking at someone who's saying, hey, we want everybody to own a home for free. And we want you to have free childcare, which is one of their things. And we want you to have free this and free that and free this. But as Margaret Thatcher once said, the problem with socialism is you can't stand in a bucket and pick yourself up by the handle.
Very true. And one of the things that they run on is working class democracy. So it's extend full voting rights to all permanent residents, U.S. residents, and restore the right to vote to incarcerated people. Criminal convictions establish a statehood in Washington, D.C. then what is the point of being an American citizen?
How do you think that's going to go?
It's not going to go well.
Like, no, I just mean like in general. Why do you think that people who are incarcerated are going to vote for socialism?
I guess.
Like all these people who want to give incarcerated people the right to vote, I'm like, I feel like that would probably, like people who are incarcerated probably would vote similarly to people who are not incarcerated. Yeah. Like I don't think it's going to move the needle.
Well, and I saw Bill Maher, and one of the other things is like workers deserve more. We need to bring factories back to America. And one of the things that Bill Maher said, it was either last week or the week before, was he was talking about how like we don't want. Trump keeps talking about we want to bring these factories back to America. Well, I don't think. I could be wrong, and JD Vance talked a little bit about this. Like, we're not talking about like the steel mill factory.
Yeah,
we're talking about like cell phone factories. We're talking about microchip factories. We're talking about factories that can be done, that are work that can be done in a 8 to 5 quote unquote job that's paid a decent wage.
But that's not going to buy you a house.
I think it could.
I don't know.
I think it could. I think. Well, like, how do you think? Like, how do we get back to the Ford type of mindset to where like
but then you can't
build
afford
cars for your.
But then you can't afford a car if you've got actual people having to work on an assembly line that you're having to pay a wage large enough for them to be able to buy their own home and pursue the American dream. Then your cars get too expensive because you're having to pay that increases your cost on that versus a robot picking up a panel and attaching it to the side of a Chevy Silverado. Like it just makes the cars more expensive.
Yeah, I don't have an answer for you.
Then you can't buy a car. Like it's.
I don't know what the solution is, but there is a problem.
Let's go read some John Maynard Keynes and, you know.
Well, but that's another problem. Like Keynesian economics is a real thing, but people don't want to go into the profit for all, right? Like we're in this economy where it's all about the shareholders. And so how do you have this working class over here on the right side or on this side, and then the shareholders on this side? And the shareholders are constantly the ones that are pushing, and the prices keep going up, and they just keep making more profit. And then on this side, you have the worker class who doesn't see those profits as well. Now, you could invest and you can do all that stuff too, but not everyone is savvy enough to do that. And so how do you help those people that are on this side and help this group? The answer is capitalism. That's the answer.
It's not a perfect system. Like
but it's ours.
You can pick apart and find your flaws to it, but like I said, you're like find me a better system overall. Yeah, I don't have one.
The system we have is what we need to keep.
Because if you're gonna
have to do some adjustments to it.
The problem with taking away ownership, which is what they want to do, when you talk about shareholders who are getting rich, and their statement, not mine, their statement is shareholders getting rich off the backs of the working class.
It's exactly what their platform reads,
essentially, by the way. To put it into a nutshell. The problem with taking away ownership is you take away the incentive. Like you talk about when people work for a company, you want those people to work like they're an owner. You want them to see the profit of the company and contribute to the success of the company. Now, if you have a company who is not rewarding those employees for that, those employees should go work somewhere else. And I know that's a hard thing to do. It's not just like pick up and leave and go work somewhere else. But if you take away ownership, that's like, talking about taking away or taxing Elon Musk. Like you can have $1 billion, but we're going to take the rest, like Bernie Sanders wants to do. Bernie Sanders literally said, like, let Elon keep $1 billion and then we'll, tax him 99% and take the rest of it. Well, Elon Musk isn't going to make that money if he's not getting the benefits of that money. So you take away that incentive, then it doesn't exist anymore. Again, we've tried this all over the globe. It doesn't work, and that's why.
Yeah. Well, and then the other thing that I can't remember if it was JD Vance made this point or if it was Bill Maher had a guy on there that said, like it was the guy that runs the financial podcast. He's got the glasses and he has all these the Democratic.
There's 100 of them.
He's really popular. I can't think of his name right off the top of my head. He's the financial audit guy. He's on YouTube anyways. But he was talking about how if you take away the billionaires, then where does your tax base go? Because it was something like 10% of all wealth comes from 1%, and they're the ones that pay 90% of the taxes or something along those lines. But like if you take away that amount of people, where does that money come from?
Yeah.
And like when you watch these people get explained to that, they're like, oh.
Yeah. Well, if they believe it. But the thing is like, you talk about taking away ownership, taking away stuff from the shareholders. The shareholders are also the ones who made that initial investment in a company that may not have made it.
Yes.
They put their money that they had worked and earned elsewhere into a company, okay, at a risk. This company may not have made it, but it did make it, and now they're reaping the benefits and the rewards of that. So again, take away the incentive, then you take away the wealth, and you're not going to have that. Like you're not going to have anything to pass out anymore.
I just hope that when we come along to these midterm elections, that some of these socialists just get blown out of the water. My fear is that if we don't have the morality and the Christian vote come along and actually vote, some of those people might win.
Just if the socialist argument does something to you and like sparks something in you, just play that out to its logical end. It all sounds good.
Yeah.
Yay, wonderful. But play that out to its logical end, because if you talk about, again, these companies, if you take away incentive and you don't have the Elon Musk creating these companies, you don't have those created jobs either. That's why it collapses and fails. But as much as he is hated by these people, Elon Musk also allows his employees to invest.
Yes.
And that's why whenever SpaceX went public, when public was IPO, how many millionaires did he make? Of the
like 4,000 or something like that.
The janitors and the ones who work in the cafeteria are now millionaires.
That guy that just came out with the biggest smile on his face.
Because he got a basic job, but he put he got stock options and ownership, even as a janitor, even as a lunch lady person, even in those types of jobs, were able to get stock options and ownership.
Right.
So when it went public, they're millionaires.
Well, and
so why are you hating on the guy?
I've also heard
he's giving like that is someone who is getting massive profits and benefiting massively, but allowing his workers to partake in that as well.
Yes. And Costco's model works too.
Yeah.
And
there are a lot of companies who are employee owned. And that's actually it's called an ESOP, Employee Stock Option Program, they're the owners. They're the shareholder of the company.
Right.
Or one of the major shareholders of the company. So when the company does well, they do well.
Right. And that also gives the worker power.
Yeah. And there's lots of companies. There's a local heat and air company that's 100% employee owned. And it's like, so every person who works for that company is a partial owner in that company, and they benefit when that, so you have that option as well. And if that's something that really speaks to you, then go out. But if the company doesn't do well,
then you don't do well.
You don't do well.
Yeah. It's a risk reward type thing. And these people they want all the reward, but no risk.
Yeah.
And that's the reality of it.
Yeah.
And they want to blame their problems on somebody else.
Yeah.
And I want to, this is not on the run sheet, but student loans have changed again. I don't know if you've seen this in the news. They did away with a couple of the plans. Some of the plans were absolutely ridiculous, and like that Biden put in and that came in under Obamacare. But some of them are changing, and you're about to see mass defaults.
Yeah.
Just because the payments are going up, some of them are tripling.
Pay for it.
Well, but it's not just that you're having to pay for it, but the payments are not sustainable for the jobs that they have.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, you made a bad decision on the degree plan that you wanted to get. And now the colleges are now going to start squealing because they put caps on how much you can take out, and
that's where
we talked about that. Yeah, we talked about
that's where the fix needs to be. It's like when we talked about student loan debt relief, it's like don't do anything until you fix the problem where an 18-year-old can walk into a school and basically say you get a free loan with no assets, no job, nothing for however much money you want to come get this degree. Like, we'll pay for your tuition, your room and board, everything.
Plus,
and we'll just let you take out this loan that you
an
have
extra $50,000.
Yeah. Plus, that you have no feasible way to ever pay back.
Right.
But we're not going to check anything as far as that goes. We're just going to believe that you're going to pay it back or whatever. Like, fix that problem, and then I will feel better about talking any types of like programs or debt relief or things like that.
Yeah. And it seems like they have, or at least taken a step to fix it. Do you have a problem with Hegseth wanting to give all soldiers TRT?
No, man. If you're low on TRT, just take it. I guess. I don't know. I've tried. I've gotten tested for it, but my numbers are too high.
I have been tested too, but I don't know what my numbers were in range.
Yeah, right. So it has to be below a certain number for insurance to cover it.
Yeah.
So I thought this probably is something that already exists, but maybe he's saying, I think I vaguely remember if it has to be below like 400 for insurance to cover it.
Yeah.
I'm just throwing a number out there. I think that was it.
Sounds about right.
And so maybe Hegseth is saying, well, even if you aren't below 400, but this can be helpful.
Yeah, he was in the news today. He was presenting in front of Congress. He kind of made a fool of himself when he said that he's not getting enough money. And the representative, I believe it was South Dakota, said, well, you just received $1.8 trillion. And I'm like, he was like, but you still won't fund our soldiers. I'm like, yes, I agree with you, Hegseth, but if that is the case that you did receive $1.8 trillion, that's a lot of money.
That's a good chunk of change.
Good chunk of change. While we're talking about war, the Iran war is back on.
Back on.
When we ended, we talked about episode 68 or 69. I can't remember. I made the point about a chapter book. The
69.
The Iran war is a chapter book, and the conflict in the Middle East is also subtopics within all of this. This war is never going to end. It's never going to.
Well,
it's going to have ends.
The conflict's never going to end.
Yeah, okay, excuse me. You're going to have battles.
Yeah.
But the war is always going to be right on the edge of going back.
Yeah.
We have to figure out an exit strategy. I don't have a solution for you, but we have to figure out a way how to. And this was another topic that was covered very, very in depth by JD Vance. What is the options that we have? What are the options, and how do you? How do you end it? He did a great job of explaining what is an MOU. How is this, what is the difference between a ceasefire and an actual peace treaty? I did see that the 10-day ceasefire is back on the table, but 3 warfighters were killed by an Iranian drone in Jordan.
Right.
And Trump has spent the last 10 days bombing them.
Yeah. It's like this. What does Iran, why do we care? They do 2 things. First of all, they stop traffic through the strait. Okay. That's a thing that affects the world economy, and they send drones and missiles acting as a terrorist to other countries around them.
Yes,
and they're trying to increase their missile capability, like they had ones that could hit Diego Garcia, like we learned that,
and London,
which is in the same conflict, and that
was chapter 4, by the way.
Yeah,
that was chapter 4.
And they're trying to develop missile capability out further. So those are the problems. So we need to address those problems. And so Strait of Hormuz first. I got a slide to show. So here we go. This is a graphic of how many ships. We'll throw this on the social as well for those just listening. But how many ships have passed through the Strait of Hormuz? So before the conflict started, you've got the average number of ships at 100. That's 100 a day. All right. When the conflict started, February 28th through April 8th, total ships are only at 270 something. So the average number of ships per day is 7. So it dropped from 100 a day to 7 a day. Then you had a period from April 8th to April 13th that no ships passed through. April 13th, the U.S. begins the blockade of Iranian ports. And so, again, only about average of 8 ships a day from April 13th to June 17th, just last month, passing through the strait. Since June 18th to just a few days ago, July 12th, that number has increased to 24. And so the big commodity coming through the strait, obviously, is oil. What I thought was interesting is that countries now are saying, hey, forget the strait. We're going to move it elsewhere. We're going to move it different ways. And apparently, as soon as this happened, Saudi Arabia stepped up. They have an east-west pipeline where they can take that oil, instead of sending it to the port through the Strait of Hormuz, they can send it across to the Red Sea and let it go out from the Red Sea. And so about 20 million barrels of oil per day move through the strait. And that pipeline, that east-west pipeline in Saudi Arabia, can move about 7 million barrels a day.
Yeah.
There's a pipeline out of Qatar, through the UAE that gets around the strait, and then another port away from the Strait of Hormuz, they can move 2 million a day. So there's 9 plus about a quarter is able to move through right now. So from, which would be about 5 million barrels. So there you've got 14, million barrels of oil being able to move right now versus the 20 that came through there before.
Yeah.
They're talking about building other pipelines. There's a pipeline that's been shut down since the Iraq War. And so they're working on getting it opened back up again. And I think that's what you're going to see. I think it's going to be Iran, like you talked about. It's a continuous conflict. It's never going to be over. Iran is always going to be a thorn in our side and Europe's side and the whole world's side when it comes to the Strait of Hormuz. So we're just going to stop using it. We're going to move oil a different way out of the Middle East, and we're not going to use the Strait anymore. And that is what is going to eventually address that problem. It's just going to take away the teeth from there, because that's the biggest thing they can hold over our heads. We've gotten where we can fight their missile and drone attacks fairly effectively. I thought it was interesting. Some of our friends of the show out east of here, who build reconnaissance aircraft, were the ones that shut down the ones that were shot towards Diego Garcia.
Yep.
There were those planes that intercepted them, then not intercepted the actual missiles, but the picked up the missile track and were able to show the military where they were being shot from, so we could take those out. And so I think we're always going to have a military presence because Iran is going to continue to build missiles and drones. But I think you're going to see, as far as the Strait of Hormuz goes, is just a movement away from it to say, as long as Iran is there, we can't trust them. They're always going to be able to hold this over our head, and anytime they want something, they're going to be able to shut it down. So we're just going to use alternate methods.
I think that's the solution to the problem.
Yeah, I think that's what this has taught us. Like you say, it's always going to be a conflict. They're never going to give in. And here's the thing. Most of the countries in the Middle East, they are, Islamic theocracies, Islamic republics. We still can get along with them. We have great allies.
Yes.
Jordan, Qatar, the UAE, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, great allies. Now, of course, from time to time, Turkey especially, they'll go off on their own and kind of do their own thing, but they're also their own country.
Right.
They're gonna pursue their own interests before ours.
Right.
But at the end of the day, those countries are strong allies of ours.
Right.
Iran is the worst. Syria is not great. Iraq kind of walks the tightrope of kind of some days yes, some days no. But outside of that, like pretty much, and Lebanon, again, not really a great friend, but major countries, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Turkey, Yemen, UAE, like Qatar, they are allies in some respects of the U.S. and they can have their government over there that's based in Islam, but they're not trying to kill us all.
Yes.
That's the difference.
Well, and the factions that play into the Iranian IRC and IRGC, and then the different factions within their government. And one of the things that Vance said on JRE was like, you can't stop just a rogue person from buying an exploding drone and shooting it at you're always going to have that potential threat. And how do you stop that?
And that's what you see a lot from the Houthis, who are sponsored by Iran. Like you say, you can never stop that kind of thing, especially over there. But we can defend against it.
Yes. The next week or so is going to be pretty important, I think. Yeah. If he can get them to sign a ceasefire again for like the 15th time, then I think that at least opens up the door for at least a time of peace. So maybe you can get some of these things done. They have to have some sort of closure by like September, because if we're still at this level in September, then you have the potential of something along the lines of like, okay, now it's starting to affect the midterms.
Oh, yeah.
So by September, you get the price of gas down. Then you head into, September, October, and then you're in the midterms and gas is back down $2.50, $2.15, somewhere around there. I think it's okay, but they're going to have to do something to fix the economy between now and then. Yeah. And that's an easy fix,
especially
right?
Gas prices.
Yeah, and gas prices is the number one factor there.
That's that reminder every time you fill up.
Yes. And every time you look up there at diesel, like anytime it's above 350, I'm like, do we really need to go? But then the diesel price too, because that has an effect on food,
right,
transportation, and then that's a trickle down effect, and you start to see some issues in the grocery store. Hey, friend of the show, Gina, wants to give you $1,500.
Yeah. I hate stimulus checks. Here's the thing. I'm not opposed to just getting a check for $1,500 in the mail. All right. But like what that represents, just like don't send me and everybody else in the state that money. Like, I don't know.
You want to explain what she's trying to do?
Yeah. So we have a rainy day fund because we get taxed too much.
The state of Texas.
State of Texas does.
And we don't ever spend it, by the way.
We don't ever spend it. We also have debt. So we have a rainy day fund of all this extra cash. That's something to ask friend of the show, Brent Money, next time he's on. But we also have debt. So instead of just paying off the debt, we keep the rainy day fund. We got savings and we got debt. Dave Ramsey would not be happy. We have more than our $1,000 emergency fund in the state of Texas.
So I didn't have time to get the images up, but
and like I'm not saying like yes we're overtaxed, and so like the idea of sending back stimulus checks because we're overtaxed, but it like we're still overtaxed then.
Yeah.
What I'm saying, the reason I hate getting stimulus checks, I'm like, fix the overtax problem. Then if you fix that, you're going to eat into that rainy day fund a little bit, and that's going to take care of it. But there's a longer term solution of paying less taxes. Like, hey, the statewide sales tax is 6.25%. Then, municipalities and counties add kind of their top to it and could cap out at a total of 8.25% in Texas. Hey, what if you drop that to 5%? Everything I buy gets cheaper.
Yeah.
Cars too.
Across the board.
Across the board. Let's do that instead of sending everybody $1,500 one time. That's why I don't like stimulus checks. I understand, like, I'm not opposed to returning money to people who are overtaxed. Just make it a more permanent solution than a one-time check in the mail.
Come on.
Gina.
So
that's a ploy. She's trying to get people to vote
No,
for it.
I know. I think it's hilarious that you put it on the thing.
But it's a very Republican thing to do is the thing. Like, when's the last time?
Yeah. Trump got him. Trump gave them to us.
So did W. Bush.
Yeah. COVID and then the 2008. Is that right?
Yeah.
That's the last two.
And the 2008 one, like, I know it was probably based on family size and stuff. I remember I got that one in the mail. I think it was like $463.
Yeah,
I'm like, there's probably
remember.
a better use for this money than what I'm going to do with it. But everybody wants to put it back in the economy. That was one of the things that came out about the COVID money is people didn't spend it.
Yeah.
And they were like, no, go spend that money.
That's
dump it
one
into
of
the
the
economy.
things that helped pay for my son's surgery.
Yeah.
Is like we got that stimulus check, and I was like, all right, there's our insurance.
There's our insurance, yeah.
Insurance premium. So one of the things I put on there was, do political signs matter anymore? So one of the things that was brought to my attention, I had somebody send me a screenshot of James Tallarico's sign and Gina's sign. That's Gina Hinojosa, who's running for governor of Texas. James Tallarico, who's running against Ken Paxton for senator for the state of Texas. Both of their political signs that are very prevalent. One, Gina's is Gina's is like a sky blue and black. James Tallarico is going from friend of the show, Francis Better O'Rourke page, and is just straight black and white. So there are no colors on their signs. That's the first thing. The second thing is there's no party affiliation. There's no party affiliation when it comes to what party they represent. So Tallarico signs do not say Democrat. We have an issue with the Twitch, by the way. Hopefully
it's reconnected now.
Okay. So hopefully, so sorry, I had to retrain my thought. Tallarico signs do not say, Democrat for Senate or Senate Democrat or anything along those lines. Gina's do not either.
Yeah.
So I went back and looked at Francis Better O'Rourke, friend of the show, and his didn't either.
Okay.
So they were also black and white. It had his name big and broad on it.
Big Beto.
So I was wondering, does that matter to you?
Signs?
Yeah.
No. I'm not voting for somebody off their sign.
Well, but I mean, like, if you don't know who they are, then how do you know what party they represent? Is my question. Like, if you're just like Paxton, Tallarico, and you're like, I'm not real sure which one I'm going to vote for.
I kind of hope that person's not voting if they're just going off.
I mean, I guess. I was just curious if you thought that made a difference at all.
Yeah.
And I don't think political signs make a difference. It's just
no, it's just name recognition, getting it out there.
Yeah.
But hopefully they're actually figuring out what they stand for.
posturing in your neighborhood.
Yeah.
Do you have any in your neighborhood yet?
No. I haven't seen a single one.
I saw.
I haven't seen much from those campaigns, really, to be honest.
I saw one in the same yard, Doug Gina, and then a Tallarico sign in the same yard.
That tracks.
Yeah, it does. The location was kind of odd, though. It was in the middle of this giant beef farm. It was kind of odd. I think not the person I would have picked to support that political party. So
maybe they don't. Maybe they just put some signs out.
All right, so we're going to close the show. Guess what's coming next week? Do you know what starts next week?
No.
Oh, gosh, Clint. Football starts next week. Training camp starts next week, next Monday.
It doesn't start.
Training camp does.
Yeah, but it doesn't start.
Training camp starts next Monday.
You can't say football starts next week.
So July the 21st, we're going 18-0, baby. We're going to win the Super Bowl. I know you're going to Vegas soon. Let's put a crisp $5 bill.
I wonder what the odds are.
I'm surprised you don't know.
Why would I?
Because you're a Cowboy fan, and this is the eternal optimistic time of where we're supposed to be. 18-0, baby. Dak's going to play all 18 games. He's not going to get hurt.
Dak is jacked.
He is jacked.
Have you
I thought it was
seen
AI.
the Dak? I did too. I'm like, dadgum. He has been eating his protein Doritos.
I bet they're dye free. But I'm very optimistic about the season. Even more optimistic than normal. I just feel like they've...
Why?
Because they fixed some holes that I felt like they had.
Where?
Well, in the secondary and in the linebacker.
Caleb Downs?
Yeah. And the 2 draft picks. I felt like this is the time to be eternal optimistic before training camp starts and before 14 people get injured in training camp.
I might as well put $20 on to win the Super Bowl.
It's not gonna hurt.
I don't know what the odds are. Probably a lot. Probably like a 7,000. Probably like a plus 7,000 on there right now.
What is that? How much money if I bet $1?
I don't know. If you bet 100, you win 7,000.
Oh wow, that's a lot of money.
That's 70 times. So you bet $1, you win $70.
Oh, okay. That's not bad. That's not bad. I could risk a crisp $1 bill.
Risk
on that.
$1.
But yeah, I feel like this is my Rangers are letting me down, although they are winning 10-0 at the current moment.
Who are they playing today?
The White Sox.
Oh.
They got obliterated last night. It's not fun to watch. If I could watch them.
Still in first place?
No, they were tied.
Mariners?
Yes. If I could watch them, I would. But, they changed their network again to Buzzer. I don't even know what that is. Never even heard of it.
Somebody at the NFL called MLB and get them to figure this thing out.
Why can we not broadcast the shows on local TV?
Well, they are.
Only on Fridays.
Even
the
over-the-air games?
Even the over-the-air games is only Friday.
Oh. Yeah, this should still be. We've talked about this. We beat that dead horse.
We have, and I'm so sick and tired of it.
I don't watch baseball.
I would watch baseball. That's my point.
When do you have time to watch baseball?
Right now, I would be watching baseball. If I was at home, it would be on the TV. But
you're not at home, so you don't have time to watch baseball.
That's a fact. But I would have it on, and that's my point.
Yeah.
Like if it was available to watch in a convenient moment where I didn't have to pay extra, I would watch it.
Yeah.
And it's not like that money's going to the team for them to get better players.
I mean, they're getting something.
Well, we're at the bottom. We're sweeping up the mop bucket.
They're getting the money. I'm not saying they're getting better players, but they're getting the money.
Water. It's what it looks like out there throwing on it. I watched the game last night. It was like Friday whenever they played. I'm like, I've never even heard of these guys before.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I'm optimistic about the Cowboys. I'm glad Pickens is going to be there. I'm glad that CeeDee Lamb looks healthy. It appears that maybe we're going to sign Bobby Wagner. I'm excited maybe about that possibility.
And Jack looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger in the 80s. 70s maybe.
But yeah, you don't seem as optimistic as I am. And
no, because I'm a realistic Cowboys fan.
God. So what does that mean?
Wild card round's going to be awesome. That's our Super Bowl.
I hope you're wrong.
Although, I mean, I don't know about the rest of the division. I don't believe in the Eagles
I don't either.
I think the Jaden Daniels era is already coming to a close with the Redskins, but that's just because he's the only talent on the team. And the Giants, you just never know, man. Old Scattaboo and Jackson Dart, see what they can drum up. But
Scattaboo was in the news. He did a backflip.
Yeah. That guy. So I don't know
he did backflip
about the rest of the
rotation.
division. Maybe that'll help us out some. We can be the best team in the division, possibly. I don't know. Then I feel like I'm too optimistic saying that. Even that.
Okay, so when we do go 18-0, want it to be heard. I said it first.
Okay. Rams are still the Rams. Seattle, strong.
They look good.
Weird quarterback, but they're strong. I don't know.
Well, I'm optimistic.
Good for you.
Any big plans this week?
Yeah, we're going to Vegas
When y'all leave?
Thursday.
Nice. Just a quick trip or?
No, man. We're staying a long time this time. We're staying through Monday.
Whoa.
That's a
Wowza.
long trip. And I'm excited. We got our room upgraded. Are you a nice room person?
Yes.
I'm not. We really don't care. We are very basic room people when we go on vacations. The only thing on a cruise, I at least want a balcony.
Okay.
Do you know why?
No.
Because if I ever get stuck on one of these poop cruises
We talked about
where
this.
somebody gets sick
We talked about this.
and they quarantine you to your room,
Yep.
I want to be able to sit out on the balcony. I do not want to be stuck in a solitary confinement cruise ship room.
Can you smoke cigars on the balcony?
I don't think they don't really like fire on cruise ships that much. I doubt it. So we've only been on a couple cruises, but we'll pick a balcony room for that reason. But we normally don't get crazy nice rooms like on purpose in Vegas, but we got upgraded this time. We're staying at the Cosmo, and it's a wraparound suite.
Oh.
So Cosmo is one of the only hotels in all of Vegas that has balconies. It was originally built for condos, not as a hotel.
Oh.
And then they decided to turn it into a hotel. So it has balconies, and we got upgraded to a corner suite. So it's got the big wraparound. It's nice. We're not really nice room people, but I'll take the free upgrade, and we're going to go play some craps and walk around and see some things and see a show and eat some good food and then come back to real life and start the school year and get on down the road.
Yeah. I'm back at work. I started on, I officially started on Monday, but been in trainings for the last couple of weeks. So that's always fun.
Is
it? It's not. But, figuring out my new role has been fun. Just kind of working through some of the logistics has been fun. It's going to be a learning curve for me for sure, because I've been doing the same thing for the last 15 years, so it's kind of like I got to figure out exactly what that looks like and, where I fit into the group. I think it'll be fine. I'm just trying to get my feet wet and not keep my head above water for now. Like right now, I feel like a little bit like it's just my nose above the water, and got to tread water a little harder to get my head above the water.
Get this guy a snorkel.
Yeah, well, and like it's all things like I got a request today, and I don't exactly know like what the policies and the procedures are for that request. So like once I figure, like, you know what I'm saying, like. Yeah. It's a request that I wouldn't have gotten in my previous role. So like, okay, what are the steps that I have to follow to go fulfill that obligation? And I just don't know. So like, once I learn that, I won't ever have to ask again.
Right.
But, and how often is that going to happen? Things like that. It's all like
the learning year.
Yeah. And it's definitely year zero. So it's like, I got to show myself some grace.
Yeah.
I mean, cause I'm definitely not feeling any pressure from those around me. It's all internal. And so I just got to figure out exactly what that looks like. Cause it's like, man, that's a lot more emails than I'm used to normally getting. But it's all calendar invites. I'm not used to getting calendar invites. So like I'll get like 80 calendar invites, and I'm like, am I supposed to attend this meeting? Or is that just like a, hey, you are invited, but you don't have to attend? Or is this an event that I may or may not have to go to? Yeah. I don't know. So it just fills my calendar up. And then I was informed, oh, you don't have to go to that. You don't have to go to that. I was like, oh, okay. Whew. Thank you. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm ready to get the school year started. For those that are teachers, you're either in two trains of thought right now. One, you're ready to get going because your kids are driving you crazy, or two, you're not ready to get going because you just want to stay at home a little bit longer. So, But yeah, I started back Monday and hit the ground running. Start school first, second week of August. So
get it going.
Have a great trip. See you next week.